You know what doesn't belong in your epic summer plans? Getting burned by your old wireless bill. That's why I made the switch to Mint Mobile. And for a limited time, Mint Mobile is offering 3 months of unlimited premium wireless service for $15 a month on the nation's largest 5G network. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. I hate those. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. All plans come with high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Ditch overpriced wireless and get 3 months of unlimited service from Mint Mobile for 15 per month. I made the switch to Mint Mobile to save money, and it was so worth it. And I got to keep my phone number. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get this new customer offer and your 3 month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month at mintmobile.com/ratchet. That's mintmobile.com/ratchet. Upfront payment of $45 required, equivalent to $15 per month. Limited time new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details.
Deborah had to have surgery.
I had hip surgery in November of 2024.
Her United Healthcare nurse, Crystal, checked on her.
We do a routine call after surgery, and I could tell that she was struggling.
Deborah needed help.
My infection markers were through the roof.
And Crystal knew what to do.
I called the hospital and said she's coming in.
And got Deborah the help she needed.
Crystal and United Healthcare saved my life.
Hear more stories like Deborah's at uhc.com. Benefits, features, and/or devices vary by plan area. Limitation and exclusions apply.
This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those who don't identify as either, you are listening to Ratchet and Respectable. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. You coffee date people and you non-coffee date people are going to be the death of me. Clarity. I don't mean the people who go on coffee dates. I don't mean the people who don't go on coffee dates. I don't even mean the people who share their experiences about going on coffee dates or declining coffee dates. I don't have an issue with you talking about your life. I specifically mean the people that go online and will argue to the death, will insult people mercilessly over their decision to or to not coffee date. How? How does someone else choosing to coffee date or not coffee date affect your life? Apparently, it has a profound effect because people cannot stop arguing over this. Dare I say, it's more intense than the split the bills 50-50 conversation or who gets the big plate and is the plate paper or ceramic or round or square? Like, does the father get served first or the children? Notably, no one ever argues that the mother, the person who prepared the food, should be served first. Dare I say, the arguments over coffee dates have superseded all of those. I just, like every 30 days, like clockwork, there's a new, it's not even a new argument. There's a new round of the same argument over coffee dates. I don't, this current round, this woman, she looks like she might be in her late 20s, early 30s. There was a woman, a Black woman, who made a video saying that she was asked on a coffee date. And she said she declined and she chose to take herself to lunch instead. She said that she doesn't do coffee dates and she stated her reasons. Okay. It has ignited this internet. You can't even call it a fire. It's a shitstorm. Like her comments, the repost of the comments. I posted on Threads maybe like 3 days ago. And I was like, hey, would it be possible, maybe, right? If the coffee date people The people who want to go on coffee dates could just, maybe date the people who also want to go on coffee dates. And then the people who don't want to go on coffee dates, maybe they could date the people that don't want to go on coffee dates. If the coffee date, to do or not to do, is something that is so passionate to you, like this is something you value, right? We always tell people to date their values. Would it be possible to actually recognize to coffee date or not is a particular value of mine, and I should date people with whom my values are aligned? So coffee date people to do coffee dates together. Coffee date people to not do coffee together. The same thing with the 50-50 people, all the 50-50 people, all the people who want to split their bills 50-50 together. All the people who don't want to split 50-50, who want to do other ways of splitting, 0, 100, 60, 40, whatever. Can those people also be aligned and together and leave the people who don't agree with their way of splitting bills or their way of first dating or their way of tradition, all these things that people value so much that they're willing to argue over? Go be with people who are aligned with what you value. I suggested this. Do you know I have been cursed out for like I don't know, like a full 72 hours at this point? People are deranged. Me personally, in most circumstances, a coffee date would not be my thing. Not for a first date. If we're, together and it's like, oh, we need coffee, then like we can go and get coffee and it's not a thing. But like a first date, I would prefer a little more effort. However, I think I maybe talked about this before. I have a thing for lavender coffee. It's kind of hard to come by. I got introduced to it when I was on Martha's Vineyard last year. I really enjoy it. And so I specifically seek out places that have lavender coffee. So if I share with someone, I really like lavender coffee. If sir would like to see me and says, hey, I found this place that has, lavender coffee. Would you like to go check it out? You've listened to something I've said. That's a little more effort to me. That's not just like a generic, like, oh, can we go meet up at Starbucks? So there are circumstances that a coffee date might actually work for me. I don't have anything particular against coffee dates. I don't understand. It's this browbeating, abusive, like you want people to like take the knee and switch their perspective to be like, yes, I will go on a coffee date, only for you not even to be the person that will be asking them out. Like, why do you care? And if you did ask them on the date, they always have a right to say no, whether it's coffee, whether it's a museum, whether it's a $500 dinner, which for the record, just because I've been like observing these conversations because I can't avoid it right now because this coffee date conversation is taking over my entire timeline. And I'm like, yo, I barely even talk about dating and relationships anymore. Try as I might, I cannot move out of this field. There's an idea that people who don't want to go on coffee dates are just trying to use men for dinners. They're gold digging for dinner. They can't afford their dinners and they just want free dinner. It's either a coffee date or like a $500 steakhouse, which I was like, I've never heard the non-coffee date people say that. It's usually just like, can we do something else that's like, like not the most minimum effort possible. This woman was writing the other day. I wish I had screenshot it. This woman said this man asked her on a coffee date and she was like, hey, I don't drink coffee. And so he was like, then you could order water. She didn't want to drink water, so she didn't go on the date. And the man was apparently really pissy about it. I would like to suggest to people that just because someone doesn't want to go on a coffee date, there's other options for them. Like they may want to do a museum. They may want to go bowling. They may want to do mini golf. They may want to go to a movie. They may want to go, I don't know, to a food truck. They may want to go listen to music somewhere. I don't know. There's 50 million other things. Like just because you take coffee date off the table doesn't mean you have to blow the budget. Doesn't mean like fly me to Africa. Like there's 50 million other options. Go to a street festival, go to a farmer's market. I don't know. Just not coffee. That's all the coffee people are saying. I just want the coffee date people to understand. I understand their logic. I completely understand the idea that like, you know what, I want to do something low effort from both sides. Like, I understand the guys who are like, I just met her and I don't want to make like a big investment. And the women who are just like, it's a public space. And if, I meet him and I don't like him, I don't want to invest a lot of time and a lot of energy into it. I can just get up and walk out after 30 minutes, which you can. I just also want to caution you, if you go anywhere with anyone and you don't want to be there anymore because you're not feeling the vibe, you could walk out at any time. Like, you don't have to wait 30 minutes to the end of the coffee date. You don't have to wait past appetizers or the first round of drinks to come at dinner. Like, you could just be like, nope, and leave. I want people to feel empowered to do that, whether it's a coffee date, whether it's a $500 date, whether you got flued out. If you don't want to be there anymore, leave. Don't feel obligated to stay out of somebody's ego or any sort of obligation. Just get up and fucking go. I just want y'all to stop arguing about this shit. It's pointless. I know I'm speaking into the abyss. There will be people who just listen to everything I just said about aligning and not arguing, who will go into the comments of this very podcast and start arguing. I know people. I might not know shit else. I know people. I just want y'all to be aligned. It makes life so much easier. Just it's a personal testament. It makes life so much easier when, instead of investing energy with what bothers you, you invest energy in what aligns with you. It's a very quick way to find joy and abundance. Just as a personal testimony. I need to share that with you. I'm in Jersey right now. Unfortunately, not in Newark. I want to keep calling it Edgewater. It is Edgewater. My condo, I don't know what it is with me and these condos. My condo is not going to be ready anytime soon. It has been demoed. The contractors announced last week that they felt they took on more than they could handle, and they're exiting the project. They have left my condo with no kitchen and no bathrooms. Both of them have been demoed. So just for clarity, no toilet, no sink, no shower. So it's uninhabitable. So I will, at some point, be in the process of getting new contractors. Right now, I am at a level of, it pings between livid and absolute despair over this situation. So as of right now, I'm not addressing it. I got other shit that I got to deal with, and I can't just sit around in spirals. So at some point, I'll deal with it. In the meantime, I'm not. But I am in Jersey. I had some stuff to do in the city. I got an invite to the U.S. Open, so I went to see Venus Williams play last night. I've always wanted to see Venus and or Serena since the 90s, and they had beads in their hair. Wanted to see Venus and Serena play ball. I'm not the biggest tennis fan, but I am a fan of high-achieving Black girls, Black women at this point, because Venus is 45. She's a grown-ass woman. But I thought I had missed my chance because, Serena officially retired, and I thought Venus had retired. She has been very clear in her interviews as of late. And she was like, no, I had some health issues that I was dealing with, but I've never retired. Like, I took some time off to get myself together, but I am now back. But last night she played in the U.S. Open, and I was in the stands to see her. I've never been to the U.S. Open before. It's a good time. I was there courtesy of Cadillac. They had Cadillac signage everywhere. And I was like, come on, marketing team. Come on, budget well spent. I know they pay good money for them logos. They had logos right on like the tennis net. I was like, I wonder how much they paid to get them logos up there. I'm going to ask. I can't tell you if I get the answer, but I'm going to ask just because I want to know.
New season, new chaos in college football.
Let's go! Big stage, big opportunity.
This Labor Day weekend, the wildness lives on ABC, ESPN, and the all-new ESPN app.
What a way to start!
Featuring top 10 teams like Clemson, Notre Dame, Alabama, and LSU, and Bill Belichick's debut at North Carolina.
It's so special when these teams collide.
Don't miss a lineup filled with electric matchups.
Welcome back to college football.
Kickoff week presented by Modelo. Labor Day weekend on ESPN and ABC. Also available to stream on the all-new ESPN app.
Introducing the perfect companion to your morning listening routine. AG1's clinically backed formula is now flavor-packed with 3 new delicious flavors: tropical, berry, and citrus. Start the day on a high note with probiotics that taste like the tropics. Mix it up with micronutrients that taste like berry or citrus. And take it all the way back with the classic, AG1 Original, with notes of pineapple and vanilla. Do your health a flavor, or 4, with AG1 Next Gen, the daily health drink. Learn more at drinkag1.com.
What else do we have? We have not good news this week. Lil Nas X, unfortunately, is in a bad situation. I saw he had been arrested. Let me pull up the article because it's 4 felonies at this point. He was found early last Friday morning around 6 a.m. in LA. He was in the Valley, I think. Was it Studio City? There is video of him prior to his arrest. He is walking around in white underwear and matching cowboy boots. And I couldn't watch the whole video because he's clearly not in his, I want to use the PC word for this. He's not in a good mental state. That's not diagnosed, but you can tell when somebody's, right and when somebody's, kind of off. He was off from the disposition that we usually, see him having. I didn't know if he was, having an episode, as we like to call it, or if he was high out his goddamn mind and, was just on another realm. I'm leaning toward high out his goddamn mind. And my logic is he was taken to the hospital after he was arrested. And then the judge set his bail at $75,000 and ordered him to either attend 4 Narcotics Anonymous meetings or to attend outpatient treatment. So that kind of indicates to me that narcotics were found in his system as opposed to him having some sort of mental episode. He was charged with 3 counts of battery with injury on a police officer and 1 count of resisting an executive officer. What I read is that he charged at the officers and resisted arrest. I don't know if he tried to fight the officers or exactly what, but I did read, I can't remember where I read it, that he charged at the officers. He's facing up to 5 years in prison if he's convicted on these charges, which I'm like, if he didn't, he was high out of his mind. Did he really know he was doing it? I could see if somebody was seriously harmed. I've read no news stories about the officers being harmed severely, minorly, or otherwise. Lil Nas X, sometimes I forget how young he is, but he's only 26, which is really, really, really young. He's decided to court controversy. I think the Old Town Road was just, him making the song that he wanted to make. But he got so much criticism from it. Like before the, Beyonce, You're Not Country, it was Lil Nas X. He also invited us in to let us know he was gay, which caused a whole nother set of controversies, hatred really for him. Like first it's being a black guy in America, and then it's being a black guy in country music. And now it's like, oh, now you're black and gay in America and country music. It was too much for a lot of people. They told him to go to hell. So then he, created a whole video about him actually going to hell. Now you're black and you're gay and you're in country and you're in America and you're like an atheist. Oh, God. He courts the controversy and he's an excellent troll on social media and in the press, but also people directing that much hatred and criticism towards you all the time, even if he's able to spin it in his favor in terms of attention and sales, it takes its toll. That video, just that small snippet that I saw, just really just broke my heart. He was there physically, but he wasn't really there. And he's so talented and so beautiful and so young. And over the years, we've just seen so many bright lights just burn out. There's a whole thing called the 27 Club. Very famous, very talented, very beautiful people who have their own demons and basically drug themselves out by 27 and are dead. Amy Winehouse being one of them. I just don't want to see that happen to him. That's all. His parents seem to be actively involved. His father is making statements to the press. And I was like, yes, Black Daddy, come on through. His dad says, this is an update on TMZ. His father says that he was not on drugs. And I was like, he may not be a drug addict in the way that we typically think of the term. He may be a functioning drug addict, but I was like, the judge just didn't order the Narcotics Anonymous for no reason. Oh, these are the pictures. I didn't see these. He took off the underwear and the boots, and he strutted down the street absolutely 110% butt-ass naked. The body is tea, though. I'm just saying, I'm looking at a butt-naked man. I ain't blind. TMZ reports that when he charged at the officers, apparently he was wearing Absolutely nothing. He was butt naked. Whatever it is, I hope the boy gets some help. They got this picture of him on TMZ. I've seen this floating around. He's in jail. They don't have him behind bars, but they have him behind a door that has like the interlock that like fences. It's a cage nevertheless. Oh, I hate this. But we're still going through this story. 4 felonies. He's pleaded not guilty to the charges against him. Somebody in the TMZ comments, he says, how do 4 cops get injured by one naked man? Questions that need answers. TMZ refers to Lil Nas X's father as Big Nas X. Daddy assures us that his son is in great spirits and has asked fans to pray for his son as he plans on giving God all the glory. Good job, Dad. Good job. There was something else I read about the daddy. Let me see. This is on People. We like it when a black daddy with good sense gets involved. Robert Stafford. That's what Big Nas X's real name is. And Lil Nas X. I don't think I've said his full name. Montero Hill. Big Daddy says his son is, quote, very remorseful for what happened. He says he's going to get the help that he needs. Just keep him in your prayers. Give him the same grace and mercy that God gives everyone. Okay, Daddy, with the quotes. He says his son is in good spirits. He's doing great mentally. We shed tears, we shed laughter, but he's in great spirits. He's going to be great. Okay, Daddy, this is good. This is good. I like this. People has the criminal complaint. It says Nas X did unlawfully use force and violence and inflict an injury upon 3 different police officers. He says that he should have known that said person was a peace officer then and there engaged in the performance of a duty. He was high out of his mind, allegedly. They thought he was high out of his mind. If he don't know what world he's in, how's he supposed to be able to identify somebody as a peace officer or not? Come on, lawyer. Oh, Nas' ex-attorney is also saying there was no drugs. He says there's no evidence. He also notes that Lil Nas X has no criminal history and does not present a flight risk. And then again, he's facing up to 5 years in prison if convicted. I hope they don't throw the book at this boy. He did release a statement on social media on Tuesday, the day after he was released from jail. He wrote, quote, your girl is gonna be okay, y'all. She's going to be all right. Shit, that was fucking terrifying. That was a terrifying last 4 days, but your girl is going to be all right. I hope so.
It's back to school season and Clorox is donating 2 million disinfecting wipes to classrooms across America. Because back to school means things can get a little bit messy. Just ask kindergarten teacher Miss Gibson.
Give me just 1 Clorox wipe and I'm ready for glitter glue, exploded lunchbox yogurt, peanut butter handprints, runny noses, picking noses, rubbing noses.
Touching noses.
Thank you, Edward. Ooh, nap mats and lockers and tissue boxes. And
Clorox
scissors.
disinfecting wipes. Teacher's #1 wipe. Clean feels good. Based on unit sales data.
Cracker Barrel changed its logo. They had like an old white man sitting next to a barrel on their logo. And they got rid of the old white man with the barrel. Still like gold with like a barrel shape and it says Cracker Barrel. And then also they updated the restaurant. It doesn't have that plantation porch feel anymore. I mean, it still has a very Southern feel. Like it still has an old-timey country kitchen, maybe, if you will, feel. Even with the update, it just doesn't look like, you know, fresh off a plantation. Primarily white people. I seen one black person complain. White people have had like a fucking meltdown. The sales have been down. Like there's been a 5-year slump in sales. So all the people that are super outraged, like, oh my God, what have you done to our beloved restaurant? Y'all mofos wasn't going there no way. Apparently their beloved restaurant that is an institution really meant that much to them, despite them not patronizing it, which is why sales were down. But you change the damn logo, try to spruce up the place, and all hell breaks loose. Let me get some quick details on Cracker Barrel. Because Cracker Barrel did actually relent to the pressure. The president actually weighed in on this shit. And I was like, are you serious right now? I'm reading this on MSNBC. The headline is Cracker Barrel's new logo sparks a familiar MAGA outrage. The Southern-themed restaurant chain has become the latest battleground in an increasingly unpredictable culture war over American identity and who gets to define it. Also, I think it's worth mentioning, Cracker Barrel is not some like leftover institution from like the Confederacy or some shit. The previous logo, the one with the white man and the barrel on it, is from like 1977. The people who are upset about it are calling their rebrand. They're saying Cracker Barrel has gone woke. And I was like, what exactly is woke? Because they took the white man off the logo? I'm scrolling down in this article. If you haven't been to Cracker Barrel ever or recently, it's something of a faux general store. The general store was actually nice. It said the food is Southern style, unseasoned Southern, and affordable. It says, interestingly, the knickknacks that famously adorned its walls are genuine antiques. Cracker Barrel's entire ethos is early 1900s nostalgia. So, not Reconstruction, the backlash to Reconstruction. So kind of like rise of Klan culture era. That would be early 1900s, no? Yes, it is. They said the Southern brand identity is at the root of the outrage. They said that the rebrand is the latest nail in the coffin burying American tradition. Racism. I don't understand exactly what the quote unquote wokeification is. This is literally a word that's used in this article. I would actually think that this big blow up is less about taking the old white man off the logo or any changes to the dining room and more to do with who is in charge of the change. Her name is Julie Fells Massino. She's a white blonde, relatively young. I'm going to go ahead and guess they consider her a DEI hire. That's the only way any of this really makes sense. Oh, and she's a well-paid white woman. They said her salary, according to a filing with the SEC, $6.6 million in 2024. Oh, God. It says their stock dropped 9% since they streamlined the logo last week. They released a statement yesterday, Monday, admitting, quote, they could have done a better job sharing who we are and who we'll always be. Trump weighed in. He urged the company to go back to the old logo and admit a mistake based on customer response. How do you, as the leader of the free world, have time to weigh in on the Cracker Barrel fucking logo? Aren't you trying to negotiate peace, Ukraine and Russia? You don't have nothing else to do? What about the goddamn mail? Several countries are refusing to ship packages to the United States right now because they can't figure out how to operate under our tariff system. Shouldn't you be addressing that as opposed to like Cracker Barrel? Apparently not. The company also said, the last few days have shown us how deeply people care about Cracker Barrel. No, they don't. No, they don't. Because if they really cared about Cracker Barrel, they would have been eating there for the last 5 years and your sales wouldn't have been down. This is just some shit that people like to argue over. Like coffee dates. I've been to Cracker Barrel twice in my life. I didn't go to Cracker Barrel as a kid. There's not a Cracker Barrel where I grew up, not near where I grew up. There's one on the other side of the Bay Bridge, which is about 45 minutes from me. We go to Annapolis all the time. We're not crossing that long-ass bridge for no bland-ass food. There was a huge lawsuit, I want to say like 99, 2000. I was in college, I think, where they weren't paying Black people the same amount of money. The Black people that they did hire, they would hire them for like only the worst jobs. And the patrons that came in, they would leave them waiting longer. And they were also segregating the restaurants. White people in one section, Black people in another section. It was a lawsuit brought by the NAACP, and Cracker Barrel settled with them for around, I think I read $8 million. I've been to Cracker Barrel twice in my life. One, I don't remember. 2018, I go gallivanting all over the place. One of the places I go gallivanting is back to Mississippi with my dad to visit family. And my auntie suggested we go to Cracker Barrel for breakfast. So I bring up the lawsuit and I'm like, I don't think we should go there because, racism and blah, 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 blah. So my aunt was like, so we're in Mississippi. And if we can't eat at any restaurant that has never practiced like segregation or treated Black people differently or underpaid Black people, then we just not going to be able to go out to eat. So like, do you want to make breakfast? I did not. So we ended up going to Cracker Barrel. I don't remember what I had. I remember thinking it was underwhelming. I remember the general store had moon pies. I remember the rocking chairs out front, which I thought were like, a cool, nifty Southern thing. I took a picture. I posted it on my Instagram page. It was unremarkable to me. So the other day, in the midst of the Cracker Barrel controversy and white people crashing out like up and down my timeline, I'm like, yo, the food here is not good enough for y'all to be crashing out like this. I don't remember it being seasoned. Mad Black people, which I really legit did not know, went to Cracker Barrel. And again, I don't go, so I don't know who be in there. But I just thought that everybody knows about that lawsuit on the GP of it all. Like the same way like people are like, I don't fuck with Target. I'll never fuck with Target again. I thought Black people were like that about Cracker Barrel. Apparently, a lot of Black people are still also fucking with Target. That's a whole separate thing. But apparently, no, Black people love Cracker Barrel. And I was like, do you really? Do. Apparently, I'll never go to test this out for myself. So, like, enough people have told me that I find it believable. There's a hash brown casserole. One of my good friends, when I posted, I was like, the food is not that good. And he was in my comments. He actually might have texted me. But he was like, that's me and my grandmother's brunch. He was like, don't you go saying nothing bad about Cracker Barrel. And I was like, you and Granny are eating Klan food. And he was like, and Will, people don't give a fuck. And then also, apparently, they have, like, really good pancakes. They're doing something with the edges of the pancakes, I guess. And I was like, Cracker Barrel, you said. I have no judgment about you going there. Again, like the lawsuit was from 20 years ago. Like, I totally get it if people are like, I don't feel discriminated against. I'm going to still eat my breakfast there. Like, there are some things I draw the line on and some things I don't. Because, like, I saw the announcement the other day. Andre Leon Talley is getting an exhibit at SCAD in Atlanta. They always have really, really good fashion exhibitions. And so the first thing I thought was, one, let me get a ticket. And then two, I have good reason to go to Atlanta so I can eat at Poor Calvin's. Poor Calvin's could put a Confederate flag on the fucking door. And as long as they are serving that lobster rice inside, I will be sitting right up in there with the lychee martini. Like, if the pancakes at Cracker Barrel are as good to you as the lobster rice at Poor Calvin's, I get why you be sitting up in there. I get it. No judgment. I'm way less judgmental than people think I am. Like, I have opinions, but do I really genuinely, honestly care about most of it? I mean, in the moment that I say it, yeah, but like, am I really sitting up thinking about it? Like, to the point that I'm going to argue with you online about it? Not really. Oh, wait a second. Before we move on to the next topic, we have an update. And the time that it's taken me to record this episode and then go through and edit it, Cracker Barrel has announced that they are restoring their original logo. So the white man with the barrel is going back on the official logo. I'm reading on CNBC that shares of Cracker Barrel Old Country Store rose 4% on Wednesday, i.e. today. It's only 10 a.m. as I'm doing this edit, after the restaurant said it would discard its new logo amid widespread backlash. CNBC also notes the switch occurred just hours after the president weighed in on the rebranding. The folks who were complaining still ain't going to eat up in there because they wasn't eating up in there before. I will. Last but not least, and I don't want to spend too much time on this because this is something else that I really honestly don't care about. Serena Williams. She recently announced that she had been using GLP-1, the weight loss injections. She is the new celebrity ambassador to a telehealth company called Ro, of which her husband, I believe, is an investor, which i.e. means she is an investor because they're married. And Serena has been very clear as the spokesperson for the brand. She was like, hey, I'm not using this for any medical reason other than to lose weight. I'm reading this on HollywoodReporter.com. She said, quote, I am trained at the highest level, ate a clean diet, pushed myself, and still, after having kids, my body just wouldn't respond. I realized it wasn't about willpower, it was biological. My body needed the GLP-1 and clinical support. Okay. She says, I'm partnering with Ro. I mean, because they paid you, and also like your husband and you, by proxy, are investors. The money was right, of course. That's not what she said, but I'm reading into this. Her actual statement is, I'm partnering with Ro because if I needed help as a top athlete doing everything at level 10, I know others are struggling too, and everyone deserves access to the treatment they need. This isn't a shortcut, it's healthcare. So Serena says that she's lost 31 pounds in 8 months. And in a video, they call it a spot, it's a commercial for Ro, she says that using GLP-1s for weight loss is a shortcut. She says, quote, "It's not a shortcut, it's science. After kids, it's the medicine my body needed." So scrolling down just a little bit further, I just want to amend her husband, and by proxy her, are investors in the company, and her husband is also a board member. So here's my thing with Serena. Have we spoken on here about Serena Williams and the drastic changes to her appearance over the last couple years? I talk about different things on different platforms. Serena Williams is similar to Lori Harvey in that people are seemingly obsessed with everything that she does. In Lori Harvey's case, like, her dating life has become a battleground for conversations on modern dating, womanhood, Madonna versus whore, like very old themes about basically like controlling women, if you will, right? Serena Williams, and long before Lori Harvey, has the same effect, but it's more about the overall policing, controlling Black women's appearance. And throughout her career, I mean, literally since she and Venus were children, it started with the beads in their hair. As they get older, especially Serena, when she starts to develop, she got some big old boobies and some big old legs and a big old booty. She develops these muscles that give her this incredible power as an athlete. And then she's criticized for being too strong, which also plays into stereotypes about Black women. They do to her what they also did to Michelle Obama. They called that lady a man. And they also did the same thing to Serena because she and Michelle Obama have the double, quote, whammy. I don't think it's a bad thing, but America does, of being both brown women who are visibly strong, and they start comparing them to men or to gorillas. And then in Serena's case, she's got people, I mean, fans, journalists, like respected publications are running articles about her shape and how her colleagues react to it. Remember, there was one of her colleagues, like she stuffed her bra in her backside and was walking around the court, like imitating Serena Williams. And that was someone who was supposed to be her quote and unquote friend. So you've got people who are mocking her shape as like overdeveloped. So kind of like the Venus Hottentot. And then you've got people who are calling her manly because of her strength and muscles and power. And then you've got people who are overtly sexualizing her because she's genetically got a big ass, big titties, and big legs. It's a mind fuck. But then everything from like her choice in outfits, whether it's the black cat suit, her hair choices, like it starts with the beads and then it's like, well, now it's a weave and now it's too much hair. And now the hair this week is different than it was last week. Oh, she's celebrating. She's doing a dance. What dance is that? Oh, she's crip walking. Oh, she's from Compton. She's a gangbanger. There are people yelling slurs and obscenities at her and her sister that are directly based on them being Black women when she's in competition. She's dealt with hell. There are people who would say that, like, yeah, that's part of the job of like being a celebrity. And I would argue with you that her job is to play tennis. All that other shit, just because it's common, doesn't mean it's okay. She's been criticized her entire career, like mercilessly. So in the last couple of years, Serena Williams has visibly changed. She's altered some of it back after the criticism. Her complexion, she was noticeably lighter. And people were like, well, she's not playing in the sun anymore. Serena Williams had gone from like chocolate brown at one point, her original natural complexion, to damn near light skin. There's been a choice of blonde hair, which in and of itself, I don't think is bad. I've had blonde hair at various times in my life. The only reason I won't do it again is because my hairstylist is like, your hair will break off again. You don't have a lifestyle to maintain blonde hair. Blonde isn't an issue. It's the textures of blonde. Like it's like baby doll hair. It's the face. She's made some alterations to her face. I think it might have just been bad Botox. When people started calling her out about it, like her face has shifted back to closer to what she originally looked like. And then now, since taking the weight loss medication, she has shifted her physique to a figure that is drastically different than the one that she was most known for, but also the one that she was most criticized for. Celebrated in some circles, for sure, but also sexualized, criticized, and mocked for. I think we should not pretend that America doesn't have very clear beauty ideals. I think we should not pretend that there's been a massive shift in what those beauty ideals are in the last, I would say, 3 to 4 years. I don't think it's any coincidence that like so many of the women that went and got BBLs are now having them taken out. I think most women want to feel pretty, especially women in the public eye that are so harshly criticized for their appearance. I think that's an uncomfortable thing to say because people want to be like, oh, I'm not influenced by what other people think or what other people feel and blah, blah, blah. Some things we find more acceptable to quote and unquote improve and alter than others or ways of altering them. People don't really make a big deal about people who get braces or people who whiten their teeth, but people do kind of clown folks for going to get veneers. But it's all the same thing, is that you want your teeth to look better because teeth in our society are associated with health and wealth and class. I think to pretend there's not such a thing as colorism and to pretend that there's not a light skin privilege is equally as stupid as pretending that there's not racism. I think Serena Williams has been judged her entire career for her appearance. And I think it probably got to her just based on the drastic nature of the alterations that she's made to her appearance. And I can't fault her for that. I think after all that she's been through, whatever her beauty ideal is, she deserves to look pretty or feel pretty, whatever that looks like to her. I think we should probably stop piling on Serena Williams because we've seen what it's done to other people. Many, many years ago, Tiny, T.I.'s wife, right? She had gotten, I can't remember, did she get the butt injections first or did she change her eye color first? I think it was the eye color. She went somewhere overseas and she changed her, I guess, dark brown eyes. She had them changed to gray. Before she got the injections or BBL or whatever she did to her backside, people would clown her for her shape. The really big thing with Tiny was people would always be like, you know, T.I. is so gorgeous and T.I. is so fine and T.I. is this, and this. And like, why the fuck is he with Tiny? And I was like, how hurtful that must be for people to be like, I can't believe, like, why would he be with somebody who looks like her? She's too ugly for him. She's not good enough for him. And that's not the only celebrity wife that it happens to. People used to do that with Antoine Fuqua and Layla Rashawn. Remember he cheated? Let's just stick to the facts. He was caught on camera kissing a woman who was not his wife, who is actually to this day still his wife. But when the story came out, very many people would be like, well, his wife let herself go. So, you know, what did she expect to happen? And I was like, oh, so for better or for worse doesn't exist in those vows anymore. Oh, okay. But here's where it gets super, super crazy. Tiny is constantly criticized for her appearance. People say she looks like a Muppet. So then she goes and starts altering her appearance. Like she gets the BBL. She also goes and gets like the gray eyes. And then people are outraged. And they were like, well, why would she go do that? Why is her self-esteem so low? Why didn't she love herself the way that she was? And it's like, wait, what? And the same thing with Serena. And actually, I do think I put it on Threads. But I was like, people used to like dog the fuck out of Serena. Like all these articles are still on Google. Like you can Google them now and see the way the press used to talk about her, to see and go in the comments section and see the way that people used to talk about her. And then people will hear that she's changed her appearance, whether it's the skin, the makeup, the Botox, the hair, the color, the textures, and be like, well, how could she? Why would she? Like, oh my God, like she had this amazing body and now she's so skinny. She's dropped down to nothing, blah, blah, blah. And they will absolutely pretend as if this woman did not get dragged for her appearance for decades. Or that getting dragged for your appearance for decades would have no impact. It's not honest. I think that she deserves to be happy. And if she's happy at her current weight, with her current hair and her current complexion and her current face, that's it. I just want Serena to be happy. And I want people to stop using her body and her face and her hair and her everything else, her, as a cultural battleground akin to Cracker Barrel or, I don't know, coffee dates. Okay, so that's the episode for this week. I think I'll probably be back in a couple days because I have more stuff I want to talk about. I need to bring myself up to speed on Lisa Cook, the only Black woman who's a part of the Federal Reserve Board, who was recently fired via social media by the current president. He wants to lower the interest rates, and the board is not playing ball with him. They don't think it's a good idea. So he fired the black lady. Apparently, there's an allegation of mortgage fraud, but no evidence, no charges, no conviction, just allegations. He went on one of his screeds on social media and fired her, for which she is suing to keep her job because he has no right to fire her. So another shit show. There's also this press war that Trump is having with my governor, Wes Moore. And there's something else that was on my list. It wasn't the release of the Epstein files. I know that much. Wes Moore, Lisa Cook, it's all people. Oh, Essence CEO Caroline Wenger has officially stepped down, quote unquote. She posted the press release on her page a couple days ago, and she had a caption that was interesting. And I'd like to do an interpretation of what her words seemingly meant. It's a lot of girl fuck you in it. We got more stuff to talk about, but this episode is running long and we got stuff to do today. So I'll be back with a bonus episode. I don't know when, but back. Okay, bye.